One. What up, guys? This is going to be our episode 2 of the journey. I'm joined by CJ as always, and then I am Chase. Same old. But let's get started, man. How are you? How are you feeling, Siege? How you feeling about stuff?
You ask me in general about life or about this?
About this, right? I mean, you could tell me your life stuff too if you want to, but I was more focused on this.
I took a pretty good dump this morning.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty good. It's a learning curve. It's a lot of figuring out what is gonna work consistently for us, because we all have like daily things that we do and jobs and blah blah blah. So it's none of us can really quit and go full time into this content creation thing, which is fine. There's a lot of people who make it doing that and starting like that. So it's an interesting biding my time, especially doing like the editing for Thompson Talks and everything. Is it's a bigger task than I maybe anticipated at first. I gotta watch the whole thing through, but you also consider I'm pausing every time something needs to be added, and by then I spend like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's learning what's going to take the longest, processes that are going to make the most sense. But as we're operating now, that's really the biggest thing. But moving forward and what we need to do moving forward to expand what we're doing is kind of the bigger thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that we're in agreement that once, if and when we can, we're just gonna hire someone to do that stuff for us, to do editing, an actual professional. Not that you're not doing great, but
Yeah, I just don't have the time to do it consistently.
Exactly.
Especially if we want to put out more and more content, it's just kind of like
Yeah. Especially if we're gonna, we've talked about starting to do some short form stuff on here. I think it'll help us with the growth aspect of everything. Plus, I think that we got to pay attention to so we looked into a lot of different ways to promote our stuff, and all over YouTube, there's so many different options. There are people that sell that kind of stuff, and then there's YouTube itself. So we ran a little bit of a promotion on the YouTube side of things, and it did normal. It didn't seem like fake to me, really.
We got like 30 new subscribers
out of what, 23,000 impressions. So I mean, it seems realistic.
It's a balancing act, because I think that's how they get you. You got to use that in a smart way, and you got to use it with the right kind of content. Because you can look at it from the base stats that we got. That sure, 23,000 impressions. We got like 30 new subscribers. That video that we promoted specifically, which I think was the first.
It was the first one, yeah.
Prior to this, and that blew up to almost 200 views or something, which is all cool and all great improvement. But what I've noticed is that has not translated into more views for our videos going forward.
Yeah,
it's all the sustainability, because realistically, if we're just promoting every video to get the views up, then we're not really doing anything. We're just paying for views at that point.
Right.
I still think the YouTube promotion thing is it's good. It's good to use.
We got to be careful about it. I think it's a solid choice. I think it's an interesting way to do it, but we got to realize that. I mean, we are only at what, like 57 subscribers or something right now. A very low number. So like, yeah, it hasn't translated into a lot of views for us at all. But like, I don't know. I feel like if you have 57 subscribers, you're not going to get a lot of views right now, anyways. Because the more subscribers we have, the more views we can get from them, and then the more that you can push out into the algorithm, and so on and so forth, and the more YouTube likes you. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's all a growing path.
It's all a growing path, and I think we talked about this. And when I talk about being strategic with like the promotion thing, I think the big thing is, and we talked about this before we started it, but it's like the Thompson Talk podcast where we sit and talk, and like that is really cool. And I think that's really cool down the road. And I think we keep doing them, and we grind it out every week, and we do those. But realistically, those aren't a big, grabber until people know who we are.
Exactly.
If people don't know who we are, like why the fuck would they care about sitting and listening to us talk for 45 minutes? Like, they don't. We're funny, like we're a funny family and all, but it's realistically, there's a lot of funny people. The exposure has to be some other thing. A lot of content creators get big off of what they go viral with one thing, and they take that momentum and go with it. So it's, you're talking about the short form stuff. That's what we've been talking about, is like, doing some interesting stuff like that about hot topics or like whatever, and trying to ride the momentum of certain topics, or even just doing something ridiculous that could get us, a bunch of views on one thing, and riding it from there, I think is the path that really makes sense. But
Yeah.
the question is, that's such a volatile strategy, because it's like, okay, like you can't map out going viral. You can't.
You can't expect. I mean, it's hard to predict what's going to be popular. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible.
That's the best strategy, is if you can actually map out and trend like what's going to be popular, in like soon, and hit it right as it's getting popular. That's the big thing, but that takes a lot of luck.
It takes a lot of luck and a lot of trial and error, because there's going to be a lot of times that you think, oh, this is going to hit hard, and then it does nothing, or it doesn't do as well as you think. Like for example, I know it's pretty much dead now, but Pow World came basically out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really
huge.
For what, like
it was huge for like a month. So like that would have been crazy if you could have read that in time, and had that shit prepared.
Been on top of it. But
so,
I mean, you look at it, and it's like, yeah, there are some people who blow up like overnight for sure. But then you also, like, you hear about all like the biggest YouTubers and streamers who talk about like spending a year, 2 years, 3 years doing this or streaming or something for like 4 or 5 viewers at a time, and just like grinding it out until one day they did something on stream, or something funny, or something that made them blow up. And then from there, that's when they started gaining traction. So it's kind of a grind. It's a time-biting thing, but it has to be a consistency thing. Because if you're going to hit that mark, that's like, this is the one, you got to do it consistently, because you never know which one is like kind of the one. And I think we have to work on, when we talk about the short form stuff, so something unique, something that like either isn't being done or isn't being done a lot of. It's got to be unique, and there's got to be a lot of like energy and personality brought to it.
I think so. We also started a little gaming thing that I'm going to do streams on and make some gaming videos on. But I think that for the main channel, I think our main focus needs to be us. And I think it always needs to be us, like the people. You know what I mean? So like, we could still do some video game stuff kind of in the background, but the main focus always just needs to be us. If we have the other channel for gameplays, we can just put all the gameplay stuff on that and not worry about it. But like reaction stuff, like watching TLC videos, or hey, Marley put out that stuff about reality shows. Let's get down and watch episodes of Amazing Race all together, like a couple of us together, and just like react to them as they come out. You know what I mean? And we could cut those down or something like that. I don't, how many people do you have out there reacting to reality shows? I mean, probably a lot, but not a ton that are super popular. What? Cinnamon Toast Ken is like the biggest reaction guy right now that still does a lot of reaction.
I don't know who that is.
He's an older fellow. He has roughly 4 million subscribers, but he's the biggest.
Maybe that's what we need.
Do some reaction stuff.
Grandpa. No. Maybe we need to get Grandpa in on this.
He's not that old. He's probably Matt's age.
Oh, you're saying the other guy's not that old.
Yeah. Grandpa is very old. He doesn't know how printers work. But no. So I mean, I think that would be good for our post, like a small content. I think doing things like watching some movies together, and we can cut down best bits and stuff. But I mean, that's going to take a lot of editing. But I think any of that short form content that's YouTube your ideal YouTube content, when you think of YouTube stuff, is going to take a lot of editing, which puts more work on you. You know what I mean? So like, we got to figure out something that maybe is easy. Maybe a highlight video on YouTube itself, and then we just react to the highlight video, and then that'll cut our time down a little bit at least. I don't know. That's all discussions for sure. But I did think about something that I think would be really fun, that if we can find time to do it, like if you could cut out an hour or an hour and a half once a week for just me and you during the day. is doing a Soul Link in Radical Red. Like, it's just Pokemon, but it's really hard Pokemon that I've never played before and that you've never played before. And it's a Nuzlocke, and we just try to beat it. I don't think we can, but I think it'd be fun to do. You know, like little things like that. I think
I'm
would
not
be
gonna
fun.
play it if I can't beat it.
Well, then you better start doing some fucking studying.
Is it possible?
It is possible.
To beat it, or are you saying it's impossible to beat?
No. It can be done. It just has
Then
never been
I'll
done.
fucking beat it. Never been done?
By like professional Poketubers have tried it and they've never been able to beat it as a Soul Link. So basically what a Soul Link means is that like our Pokemon are connected. So if your Pokemon dies, my Pokemon dies, and vice versa.
I don't want you to fuck over my Pokemon though.
I don't want you to fuck over my Pokemon.
My Pokemon are gonna be sick.
Okay,
Don't worry about them.
well, it's all random. So
What do you mean it's random?
the Pokemon are random. Starters are random. Routes are random. You only get to catch the first Pokemon on every route. It's all random, except for the boss battles are not random. The bosses have their Pokemon, and they will always have the same Pokemon. But it is max IV EVs. So I mean, your Pokemon that you get are as strong as those Pokemon can be. So that's nice. But
Okay. So they're literally the strongest possible.
that
But
Pokemon can be.
people
So if you catch a Weedle,
Can I
It's
switch
the
Pokemon out as I catch them? Or can I
yes,
switch them
but
until they
yes, but our Pokemon are all paired. So let's say, for example, your starters, okay, your starter choices are Regigigas, fucking Lugia, and I don't know, the new legendary from Scarlet and Violet. All the Pokemon are in there, by the way. They're all in there.
options.
Those are your 3 starters. But then my 3 starters are fucking Scatterbug, Caterpie, and Weedle. Well, now one of my little bug Pokemon are going to be connected to one of your legendary Pokemon.
So don't use that bug
so I
Pokemon.
would just never get to use them.
Don't use it.
But he would take a spot on my team. He would still have to
You
be
can
on
only
my
catch up to
team.
6 Pokemon?
No. We can switch them out, but if I switch out my bug, you have to switch out your legend.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So we'd have to keep those Pokemon on the team, and I would just have a weak ass bug that I could never use on the team. And then, but like also you can't match typings. So like if you get, say, a fire type, that's our fire type. We can't have any more fire types on our team.
So what
But
happens if we both get a fire type as the first Pokemon on a route?
One of whoever found the route second, like, so we'll take turns going into the routes. Whoever went into the route second would have to re-roll their encounter until they didn't get a fire type.
Interesting.
Yeah, but say
Sounds like you just probably have to get really lucky to win this.
you have to get a little
You got
lucky.
lucky.
You have to get a little lucky, and you have to be pretty skilled because the boss battles are actually hard. So like,
But I have the strongest version of these Pokemon.
yeah, so yeah, if you had a full 6 team of legendaries, then it wouldn't be you'd be a walk in the park. But there's no chance you're gonna get 6 legendaries.
You never say no chance. If it's random, there's a chance.
There's a chance. It's a low chance, but there's a chance.
There's a chance.
And then you have to worry about my team though. Like you could have 6 legendaries, but I have 6 fucking bugs.
Stop doing that. You're just gonna fuck me over. Just
Just
actually
also
simple.
get Pokemon.
And I don't know why the professionals haven't thought of this yet, but just get good Pokemon.
Sure. Well, I would love to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think we would really enjoy that. But that would be like an hour and a half out of your day once a week, and we could do it during the day. I mean, we would just go like the way I would want to probably section it, and we could maybe change it depending on what gym, but we could go until we get the next gym badge, and that would be a video. You know what I mean? And then so on and so
And if we
forth.
die, we start over.
If we die, we start over, and we keep a
You can't
track.
kill Pokemon, right?
Can't heal Pokemon. You keep a track, and it's not. So if you have Pokemon in your box, that doesn't matter. It's if you faint in battle, the game is over. You have to start over.
And if one of us dies, we both die.
If one of us die, we both die. Now the only thing about that though is if I lose a Mon in the middle of a battle that you're also using, you could still use that Mon in that battle. It's just once that battle's over, that Mon is dead. or you have to treat it as dead, basically.
But I can switch it out of my team.
Like
and
you
get
could,
to a box.
yeah, but we'd both have to switch. So we'd have to keep in mind which ones are connected the whole time. And we could come up with a nifty way of doing that. Like we have to nickname everything. So we could nickname them just the combined names of the two Mons, and then we would know that they were connected all the time, you know? Or something like that. Or just number them.
It's got like 6 straight like Blastoises in a row.
You could, but there's something called a species clause to where you can choose not to catch the same Pokemon if you don't want to.
That's a loophole.
So if like you rolled a Blastoise on one route and you're like, okay, yeah, I want to catch a Blastoise, and then the next route was also a Blastoise, you could be like, oh, I want to re-roll because I don't want another Blastoise.
Right? Like you couldn't even do that because you can only have one water type, right?
On your team, but I guess you could put it in the box and just have a backup Blastoise. I guess, but you know, it's up to you.
Not a bad idea.
It's not. I mean, it's an idea for sure, but we don't want to riddle our box full of Blastoises.
I think I could beat this pretty.
Well, there's a very popular 2 Poketubers that are trying to do it right now, and they have restarted 7 times already, and they're having a hard time.
They're probably
If we do it first, then that's huge. We'd be the first ones ever to defeat Radical Red Soul Linked. That'd be insane. That'd be a big move. On video.
I like it.
I mean, there might be someone who have done it not on video, but on video, we'd be the first ones.
Yeah, these 2 famous Poketubers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm built different.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if they're built different.
But you don't know if they're built different.
I think we could probably do it.
I think we could do it, dude. I think we could.
It doesn't really sound that hard.
Okay.
Sounds like the rest of them are just losers.
All right. Well, we'll get into it. We'll see how easy it is. But yeah, so my thing is we just got to keep this stuff going. I think that we kind of got a pretty good idea of how things are going to work for us right now. I mean, it's still early on, you know. I think that information wise and stuff, we're going to have a lot more to talk about as this process continues, but you know, only having 1 month of stuff going, you know, there's just not a lot to talk about right now. There's different things that we need to learn and different things we need to work on, but I'm feeling okay about it. We've been real busy this week, so we haven't done much. That's why this is coming out a little late, but I think, you know, we're gonna do another recording tonight, hopefully, which we need to message everyone about, make sure everybody's cool with, and then you know, get back into the grind next week. But how do you feel about everything for the most part?
Living large.
Yep.
Took a pretty good poop this morning, but ate a lot of chicken nuggets today, so I'm gonna have to poop again.
Okay. Well, we can be done with this for the most part. Give me 1 second. I do have to if you didn't know, to catalog us a little bit of exactly when this is, the new Taylor Swift album came out today.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I'm okay with not knowing that.
Why? Why you don't like T Swift, dude?
It's not for me.
Well, you know, a lot of white girls would disagree with you. That's for them, you know.
It's for them. It's not for me.
It is for them.
I don't enjoy it. It's not for me.
But let's see if we can get any the great philosopher T Swift. We can get any of her quotes and sprout them out for you guys, you know, because we want to keep everybody, you know, motivated. But I do believe T Swift one time said, just be yourself. There's no one better, guys. So we'll see you guys next time. That's not a great one, is it? Let's see if we can find a better one. Let me give me a second.
No, you get one shot.
I get one? No!